Welcome to Art Chat. We're turning the tables on Marge today because we're here to see an exhibition that she was very instrumental in putting together. Marge, tell us about what we're here to see.
Well, we're here in the Center for the Visual Arts at Bonita Springs, and this is called Second Time Around, the Hubcap as Art. And this, I first got involved in this in about 2012. I became familiar with the collection of art that belongs to the Landfill Art Project. There are over 1,000 works of art in this whole project, and the exhibition from which this has emerged opened in 2014 in the Museum of the Shenandoah Valley, and that had nearly 300 objects.
Okay, now I understand. Today we're going to see about 35 of those that have been selected, and these have been touring ever since, right, for the last 4 years or so?
That's correct. They've been touring around the country, and this is the last stop.
So this is our last opportunity to see this, and it happens to be right in our own backyard. Marge, let's see what some of these works are.
All right.
I love this one. This is just incredible.
Well, this is a Pennsylvania artist, Jim Lennox, and he does these beautiful sculptural forms with this beautiful finish. And Jim is quite a sculptor. He sells his work nationally. Wow. So
you know, it's appropriate because it looks like fine auto body work, like a, like a custom automobile maybe. That kind of a finish. All right, let's see what else we have here.
Well, let's see. Let's look at the Opossum College class ring. This is from Eric Langford, and he's a Tennessee artist. And I should say, Dan, that all the artists that are featured here are professional working artists.
So a lot of their style that they've developed and have used in other ways, they bring it to bear on this, but with a unique material, with Hubcap.
They bring it to bear. And let me back up and just tell you that what happened with the Landfill Art Project is that Ken Marquis, who started the project, purchased a whole pile of hubcaps, more than 1,000. Wow. And he said, I think my artist friends can do something. He started sending them to artists, saying, turn it into a work of art. Started locally, then went regionally, then went nationally, and then went worldwide.
So
they all came from that stash. He
said, make something out of it.
Make something out of it, and they
something
went
like this, you know, by taking the hubcap and then adding, in this case, a stop sign and
stop sign
whatever
here.
They look like bottle caps that have been formed into something.
Bottle caps formed into jewels. This is one of our country's major contemporary artists. Boris Bally is well known. His works are in many museums, and here he is telling us something about the layering of meaning of works in a landfill. A lot of the artists are talking about the environment and the key to the environment, and here you see the key,
and the
referencing
keyhole.
with the keyhole and the sun.
I would guess now, not having seen anything else, that this artist likes this motif of this face. I'll bet you that shows up in other places.
Good eye. And many of them are, again, making environmental statements. So here we see the line of cars.
And the Walmart truck, I don't know if you can see is a
Walmart
truck there.
That was intentional.
I have a feeling this artist is not a fan of the
probably
nation's
not.
#1 retailer.
One of my favorites.
Lovely.
A Minnesota artist, and this is demonstrating the technique called piquesse. And it is referring to the term called plate stealer, and it's made out of broken plates. And the message here is rising above and what can be created from the broken. Exactly, the phoenix from the broken plates. This is a beautiful piece. Some artists really just use the hubcap as a backdrop. This artist painted on silk with dyes, and then she embroidered all of it.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise. This one's from Jackson, Wyoming.
This
what was your first clue with that, right?
The
Great Plains.
I know. This
Rumbling
artist
off the Great Plains.
And this artist actually does monumental works. If you go out to the Great Plains, you might see one of John Sims's works.
This is a very small thing.
This is very small. But really organic and obviously, again, making a statement.
So it was just such simple lines, but it evokes that bison.
It does,
It's
it does. And the radius, they are all equal. That is interesting.
I love this one. This one is so whimsical and so clever.
We had several artists in the larger collection do flying saucers.
Yeah, well, of course. I mean,
Of course,
Yeah,
of
we
course.
couldn't pass that opportunity up.
And this artist actually does a lot of flying saucers in her regular work. And this is
So
a
she saw
Florida.
that hubcap show up, and
she was
I
all
know
over
what
that.
to do with that.
That's
So
a fun
evocative. I
one.
mean, so much personality.
Yeah, it
Who would
looks
have
like a
thought
little man up
pipe
there.
fitting in a couple of electrical terminals could have a personality?
lot of creativity there.
I love that.
Mike Kendall, Child's Play, and he fashioned this as a toy, and it rocks back and forth and it makes a sound.
Okay, nice. I thought it was some kind of a celestial navigation instrument.
Mustang Sally, Kevin Karen. Kevin Karen does monumental sculptures, and this is one of my favorite works. Just a charming piece. A couple hubcaps, obviously.
Yeah.
And then next to it, we have another sculptural piece. But how different is that?
Yep.
This artist does huge monumental sculptures.
Obviously has good tools for cutting metal.
He certainly does. Egg in Space.
A Buick hubcap. It's very subtle, but I can see the Buick logo under there.
And can you see the fork that is just hovering, about to break the
About
yoke?
to break into that yoke.
Of
Yep.
course, it's an environmental statement.
This is a motif that I run into when I'm visiting my daughter in Minnesota.
This is Loki.
This is Loki from Norse mythology and also from comic books.
That's
I understand.
right,
Just
so-
found that out today.
That's exactly right. And note how he's made it. He has simply cut off the sides, moved them up,
Yep.
put in the eyes, and there you have
There you
the
got
work
it.
of art. He does monumental
But
work as
he's,
well.
but he's iconic, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't miss him up in Minnesota. All right. Now this is an interesting juxtaposition here.
This is very interesting. The symbolism says one thing, peace, but the material is bullet casings. So obviously,
It's a little disconcerting, a little disturbing.
Absolutely disturbing. This is actually a working instrument. The artist created it by taking the hubcap, bolting it onto a garbage pail lid. On the back of that, he bolted an old ukulele back, put on a neck from a 1950s guitar from Sears and Roebuck, decorated it with images, and there you have it.
How about that?
Pontiac 51.
It's a Pontiac. I was going to say that's a Pontiac from the 50s. It's iconic. And Pontiac used to say, we build excitement. So there you go.
There you go.
Musical excitement.
Yeah. Noah Malloy, again, another artist who's very gifted in taking materials and turning them into sculptural forms. This is an artist from Ireland.
Very interesting. So here we've got a snapping turtle.
Yeah, isn't this fun? In many cultures, there is a myth that the world is carried on the back of a turtle. And several people did, in the larger collection, did images of turtles because of their endangered species.
Very good. Now this is quite clever.
Pasta maker machine from
This
a New
one's making
Jersey
me
artist.
hungry for some dinner.
This is actually one of the icons of the exhibition.
I think David needs one of these for his kitchen.
You think?
Yeah.
Think I could get away with it? Probably not. Very fun piece. Very fine artist here, making a statement about the endangerment of wood, or forest in the world. You'll see that this is actually the artist as if he's reaching into the pile and picking out his hubcap.
Picking out his hubcap, and that's the reflection.
That is the reflection. This is a New Jersey artist. He's a very well-known artist, very skilled artist. And this is oil. So he has actually used oil to paint on this one.
Wow. Very interesting.
And then speaking of reflections, one of my favorite pieces is this very beautiful mosaic glass work. This is from an artist in the Netherlands. This is by the woman who founded the Colored Pencil Society of America. So this is use of colored pencils.
Wow, that's pretty amazing for colored pencil. I
Isn't that
would not
fun?
have thought that was colored pencil.
And she has used a recycled piece of wood from a harp factory
Wow,
to mount it.
that's great.
And this is a fun
We
work.
got the Red Baron over here.
This is from an artist in Denmark, and he has very cleverly used the center emblem of the hubcap to make an airplane.
The Mercedes symbol is
Mercedes.
So it's a German pilot and a German hubcap.
Pretty appropriate.
How about that?
Well, what do you think?
Well,
it's
you know,
a lemon.
This is interesting because this is a lemon and it's from a Fiat, which you know, Fiat means fix it again, Tony. I think it speaks for itself.
Another just fun
this is
sculptural
very
piece.
cool.
Very cool. Just showing what can be done with
Gearhead.
gearhead.
Perfect.
Exactly.
Now, what is this thing?
This is one of my favorite
Like
objects.
a Wheel of Fortune here.
David Medley, a major artist from California, he is making a statement here about our trash flow. When you turn this, BB's inside.
Can we turn it a little bit?
We can turn it a little bit. Very popular with our visitors.
And we're right back here where we started.
We're here where we started with this
and which is
wonderful
appropriate
work.
because we're going around the wheel, round and round.
Thanks so much for joining us on this very unusual art chat today. We'll see you again soon.
We'll see you around.